Hello and welcome to the third installment of Satellite Gaming Satellcast. We have a rather short agenda compared to our other days. I'm not going to guarantee that the time is going to be any shorter, but it could. First, I'll let you know who I'm here with, and then we'll let you know what we're talking about. I've got Kale.
Hello.
Matthew.
How's it going?
Michael.
Hello.
And myself. And today on the agenda we have pre-order talk. Going to ask these guys what they think of pre-order bonuses. Do they like and dislike them? What are their general thoughts? And do they pre-order? Followed by Resident Evil 6 talk. Speaking of pre-ordering, right? Are they excited? Expectations? What are their opinions? And then on our third, personal expectations for next generation gaming, wants and must-haves for our hard-earned cash. I'm going to see what these guys want and what they need for next-gen stuff. And then we're going to round it out with a big fan favorite, Minecraft Roundtable Talk. You either love it or you hate it. You don't find many people that hate it, but there are some people out there, and we will get into that. So basically, I'm going to go ahead and start it out here with the pre-order talk. This kind of reminds me, the reason we brought this up is because last week we talked about Borderlands 2, and they were having a little bit of pre-order bonus. I don't think it was anything amazing. Does anybody remember offhand what it was?
It was the Vault Hunter key thing where you get like the free class download and a few other miscellaneous items.
Alright, so basically what I'm wondering is, not everyone here, I don't think anyone, has anyone in here have this, anyone in here have Borderlands 2 pre-ordered?
No, I do.
You do?
I do, yeah.
Okay, so basically what I'm going to ask is, Kale, I'm going to ask you, what honestly do you think about that, having a pre-order bonus? Do you like it or dislike it? Like I said, and obviously you answered the last question and do you pre-order, but we're going to go ahead and get your opinion on pre-orders first. So why don't you give me your thoughts on pre-orders in general?
Well, pre-orders, I don't pre-order everything. Like what you said for the next topic, Resident Evil 6, I'm not pre-ordering that.
Right.
It's just, I'm going to play it, but, it's nothing that I'm going to run out. I want my there's going to be plenty of copies to go around, especially since I'm not getting the collector's edition. I really only pre-order when I get a collector's edition of a game. And I only get that collector's edition if there's enough, like a DLC along with it, which is why I'm getting the Borderlands one, because it's more of a in-game content. Like you get, like weapons and different classes and, that kind of stuff. And that's what I like. So if the bonus is right, then I'll pre-order it. But if I'm just going to get the regular edition of a game, there's no reason to pre-order. I don't care. And I generally don't pre-order until like about a week before the game comes out because I don't like the thought of my money just sitting there for 6 months on it. I know some people pre-order like a year before a game comes out. That's stupid. Just do it a week before it comes out.
True. Yeah. Well, okay. With that in mind, with the pre-order bonus there in mind, it's important to note that it doesn't cost anything extra to pre-order, and all your money's going towards the game. So that is a strong point. For pre-orders. So I understand where you're coming from there, and I honestly don't pre-order everything. It's just, even if I had the money, the majority of the games that I buy aren't worth pre-ordering. Like you said, for a collector's edition, I'm a big pre-order person. Mass Effect 2 was a nice pre-order. I think Halo Wars was one that I didn't pre-order, but I got the collector's edition for. It all depends on how important the collector's edition, I guess, of the game is, or how important I think the game is. Another big reason why I pre-order would be midnight releases. Because a lot of the times, not all the time, obviously, and maybe not anymore, but a good chunk of the time back in the day, you had to pre-order to get it at midnight. And, everybody made an event. We all remember Halo 2 and Halo 3 releases. Like, it was an event. It wasn't just a get together of a few friends. It was 150 people, depending on where you were, all wanting Halo. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So that's one reason I pre-order, because of the events, the social events. It's funny because when you think of gamers, they're not really a social bunch in the stereotypical concept, but that gets them all outside. Now, Matthew, why don't you go ahead and tell us what you think about pre-orders?
Pre-orders, I enjoy them by game, obviously. I didn't pre-order Halo Wars, but if they made a sequel, I might. The midnight races are really the big reasons I feel for any pre-order. I feel that pre-ordering for bonus content is a bad idea. You shouldn't have to give away items to promote your game to make people want to buy it. Your game should be good enough from the beginning, it should draw enough hype to make people want to pre-order it. It should be a bonus, not an incentive. And in the case of Borderlands 2, I don't really care for the fact that they're making a game-altering, pre-order bonus. It's not really a bonus if you're giving away a part of the game that should be included part of the core.
That is a very good point that we need to note. A good majority of the games, for the record, that you're pre-ordering do not have something that drastic. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Would you really call the Borderlands DLC? I mean, Kale, you can butt in here too. Do you really call, and Michael as well, do you guys honestly think that Borderlands DLC is a game changer? Or, I mean, obviously, Kale, you might think it is because you have it pre-ordered, and Matt thinks it is too, but I'm just curious as to what you guys really do think.
I don't really know if it's. I mean, yeah, obviously it is a game changer. I don't really think it's a game changer on that big a scale. I mean,
right.
It adds one for class.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, it does like it adds a new class, some new weapons. You can level up faster. But the thing is, it's not a multiplayer game. It's a single player game. So it's not like
what?
Well, I mean, okay, it's not a competitive multiplayer game.
Oh, what?
MLG
has a circuit for Borderlands.
It's not supposed to be a competitive.
Well, whether it is or isn't, it still is, and I imagine the pros would pre-order it anyway. But that shouldn't be a requirement.
I'm not talking about pros. I'm talking about the average gamer. There's more gamers than there are pros.
Should the question stand as, does it pre-orders matter for regular gamers then instead of pros?
Well, I think it matters for
It matters for both, in my opinion.
Yeah,
so I mean, yeah. Well, even if it's slightly game changing, it's still game changing, and that shouldn't be exclusive to those that pre-ordered. Unless, even then, if you make it available as a downloadable content purchase, you're still, it doesn't seem right. It's bad marketing.
Well, but in MLG, you're not going to be playing with those packs and stuff like that. I mean,
because they slow everything down, competitive shit.
Right.
It's also interesting out here to note, pre-orders, before I swing this over to Michael, also interesting to note that the majority of the time, if it's not even if it is, I wouldn't say for Halo, but for a lower tier game, I don't remember what game, several games I haven't pre-ordered, but I went to get at GameStop the same day. They give you the pre-order bonus with it sometimes. I mean, it's not an every time thing, but I'm pretty sure you guys have all had that happen. You get a code, it's like, if you pre-order from GameStop, you get blah, blah, blah. Well, I didn't pre-order it and they're still giving the thing to me because, they have umpteen million. So that's important to note too that they do that. Now, Michael, go ahead and tell us what you kind of think about. I mean, do you pre-order? What do you think about the bonuses? Or you can even talk about the Borderlands 2 thing if you'd like. What you got?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I can't really say anything that hasn't been said. Everyone's kind of said everything. I do like pre-order bonuses though. It does depend on the game. I did pre-order the Legendary Skyrim edition and got the Alduin statue in the book.
Now, was that mainly a collector's reason you did that, or was
that,
okay?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that'd be the only reason, but
yeah, because I mean, you didn't really get anything with Skyrim.
No.
I mean, game-wise, you got collector stuff.
All right, important to know here. Important to ask you then, if let's say they wouldn't have done the statue. Excuse the noise there. If they wouldn't have done the statue and done in-game content, would it still have been a day one pre-order for you?
It depends on what the content was.
New sword or something? No. Oh, no. That's a little too much of a game changer for a pre-order. I think everybody should pre-order. I'll pre-order for you at that point.
Maybe some new shouts or like exclusive shouts or some exclusive armor. See, I would have because I didn't get the Legendary edition of it. Okay. But if there was actual in-game DLC that you get, I would have pre-ordered it. I would have got that one.
It also depends on the price, though, because, I mean, Legendary Skyrim was like 150 something.
Right? Well, I mean, also important to note on the collector's editions for pre-orders and stuff, it depends on price for pre-order in there, too. I remember, was it Gears 2? In my opinion, one of the best pre-orders of all time for a collector's edition, because it was only $10 more. Yeah. As opposed to the $20 it is now, so that's important to note. I mean, how much are you willing to pay for in-game content if it's a, new armor? Let's say you can pre-order Halo. I mean, obviously, ignore what's real here. Just if you guys want to pre-order Halo Reach, and if you spend an extra $10, you get the flaming helmet and a new bit of, a new armor. Is that worth $10 to you, or is that something you're like, no? I'll save my $10.
You see, like back then, yes, that kind of stuff. That's what I like, is the in-game stuff,
Right, exactly.
like a helmet or something that not everybody has. But if you would ask me that now, like you just did, no. In hindsight, no, I wouldn't have, because those flaming helmets are so goddamn easy to pick off from all the way across the map.
Well, that's why it's an option. But I mean, aesthetics are fine to change. If it doesn't change the game, you can do all the pre-order content you want. But as soon as you start putting in shouts and all this other stuff that changes the gameplay experience, I mean, not on an aesthetic level, but on a functional level, then pre-orders take the step from being pre-orders to being, day zero DLC instead.
Yeah. I mean, okay, Michael, I have a question for you. Would you pre-order a game? Let's say you're going to pre-order the next big shooter, but the only way you get the 3-round burst basically the one-shot kill gun is if you pre-order. Is that going to make you buy it? I mean, is that going to make you automatically pre-order it, or are you like, man, this game's going to be broken because everyone's going to have the same gun? I'm just curious.
I don't know. It depends on how much it is. I mean, if it's like standard $10 or $20 more, then probably, yeah, because everyone else is going to have it, so why not?
True. Basically, okay, from here, what is the ground rule you would kind of, if you guys had to give everybody advice, if you had to give one, somebody's like, hey, I'm going to pre-order this game, or, you're telling gamers everywhere, where do you draw the line on pre-orders? Matthew, why don't you go ahead and go first?
I draw the line depending on how badly they want the game, because some people are just so drawn to a game. Let's say Halo 4. I'm pretty sure I can convince any of you, if Jesus Christ himself descended from the heavens just for the sole purpose of telling me to tell you guys, it depended on your life, not to pre-order Halo 4, I'm sure I still can convince you to do it.
Yeah, because it's already pre-ordered.
Exactly. So, I mean, it's dependent. If the person really wants the game, they're going to get it. If I think it's a waste, I might try and talk them out of it. But if they really like the game, they really like the game, and that's their thing, not me to talk them out of. For me, the drawing point is, how well I like the game, and I'm going to pre-order the game whether or not it gives me bonus or not, if I like it enough. So really, it's the price is determined by the desire.
Right. All right. And Michael, what is your kind of one piece of advice? What is the one thing you might want to tell if I come up to you and I'm like, should I pre-order this? Like, what do you think makes somebody pre-order a game, and where would you kind of tell me to draw the line?
What makes someone pre-order a game is exactly what Matthew said, how drawn they are to it.
Very true. I mean, no, it honestly is, and it's exactly. I mean, you can't really capitalize on that anymore. Kale, why don't you give it a shot? Same question.
All right. Well, I'm going to answer differently.
Okay.
I mean, just because that's it. I mean, like, if you like the game, you're going to pre-order. I mean, there's really no advice to give, because you're not losing any of the money. I mean, and then if you decide you don't want it, even after the game came out, you can go get your $5 back.
True.
But,
very true.
Right, coming from someone who has worked, at GameStop.
Yeah, I was going to say, as a GameStop employee, what do you think? Yes. I mean, ex-employee.
Pre-order the goddamn games. Just pre-order them. Do not show up to a midnight release.
Well, yeah.
Hey, man, you got any more copies left? No, we don't. And everyone complains about how pushy GameStop workers are when it comes to pre-orders. But then again, when they come to midnight launch, we don't have any extra copies. Well, no one asked me to pre-order. Bullshit. You're a liar. You know damn well we did.
Okay, well, here's a question about it.
If you know you're going to buy the game, just pre-order it.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think if you're thinking about it and it's a 100% purchase, and I mean, for example, Halo 4, like, for me, I'm going to get that game regardless, so why not just drop $5 down? It makes sense. It goes towards the game. It means I only have to have $55 when it comes down time to it. It's also kind of like a payment plan, It's basically like a layaway, more or less, up until the release.
Right, and then GameStop, and places like that usually do, before the game comes out, trade in games.
Oh, yeah.
Put the credit towards
extra 50% or something like that. That's very true.
50%. They put the credit toward the pre-order of this game, or
right.
So, I mean, but then people will wait. They won't pre-order, and then they'll come in the day after and then trade in all their games, and then piss off because they can't get all those bonuses and stuff.
Right. Now, basically, where I'm going with this is the same place you guys are. Obviously, if you like, it all depends on how much you like the game. Ignore the bonus. Just ignore the bonus. Just think about the game itself. Is this a 100% buy? If it is, pre-order it. There's no harm in doing it. It doesn't cost you any extra. You're guaranteed a copy. And hypothetically, if there are bonuses, you get them. Great. But if not, darn. I mean, it's just if it's 100% buy anyway, I just don't see why you don't pre-order it. It makes everything accessible. I mean, it's a lot easier now. I mean, hell, even Walmart does pre-orders. Meijer does pre-orders. Everywhere does pre-orders for the most part. So it's not just GameStop. So let's move this train along here. We're gonna go to the Resident Evil 6 train. Unfortunately, I mean, yay. Anyone knows anything about Resident Evil? Everyone in here play the 5th one? No? Yes?
Yes, I did.
A little bit.
I don't like to admit it, but I did.
Okay. I mean, so the plot is, I'm not even going to get into the plot. If you haven't played the 5th one by now, I should spoil it, but I just don't feel like it.
It's pretty mediocre.
I mean, but the 6th one's, it's bringing back, Leon Kennedy, one of the fan favorites, from 4 and 2, which is a good move. It's also bringing back Chris Redfield, which is great. Some various other characters now. Gameplay is basically gonna be that of 5 and 4 from what I saw, which is fine. The Resident Evil 4 changed Resident Evil forever for the better. And we're going to have all the same concepts of bioterrorism and so on and so forth from Umbrella. We're going to have switching, basically more along the lines of Resident Evil, I believe it was 0 that started it. The switching from player to player to player, you're going to have 3 different people you can play as, maybe 4.
Yeah.
So you're going to have that. It might be a draw to somebody. For me, that kind of turns me off, but I'm going to go last on that, and we'll talk about it when it gets to me. Michael, what do you think about Resident Evil 6? Are you excited? What are your expectations? Do you have any opinions if you've seen any gameplay? Go ahead.
5 kind of threw me off of the series. I mean...
Okay, I can see that, definitely.
Yeah. I only got maybe 3/4 of the way through 5, and then I'm like, nope, I'm done with this.
You got almost all the way through?
Yeah. It just... I don't know. It didn't help that I moved out right then, so...
Right. I mean, so you're not excited for Resident Evil 6 at all then, probably?
Not really. I do like some of the new gameplay mechanisms that they introduced, like you can move and shoot. That's always been a big gripe.
About time. So, okay. Well, what are your... I mean, do you kind of expect this game to be better than Resident Evil 5 and 4? What are your lofty expectations, or are you kind of reserved on it?
I expect it to be better than 5.
That's not saying much.
Yeah, I know. Probably on par with 4, if not better.
Really?
Well, no, I agree
hoping.
with him. I agree with him. I mean,
Yeah, I agree.
You should expect the best out of the games, especially when they're going to be asking $60 for this and hyping it as much as they are. So I completely agree. Kale, why don't you go ahead and give us your 3 cents about RE6?
Well, I mean, like he said, but I played 5, I beat it, it sucked, but it didn't throw me off of the series. I mean, out of all the Resident Evil games, I can only think of 2 or 3 that were just horrible. Operation Raccoon City. Included.
There you go. That's it. Yep.
But I mean, overall, I mean, I love Resident Evil. I mean, so yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to pick it up. Why wouldn't I? And I fully expect it to be at least, like as Michael said, as good or if not better than 4.
Yeah, I believe that's a fair expectation to have, honestly. I mean,
yeah, at first, I was kind of, wary about it, but the more I see it, the more I hear about it, especially like the gameplay videos and just the trailers, it looks amazing. It looks really good, and I like the fact, that they're bringing back, Chris Redfield and Leon Kennedy, and the 4 different campaigns that you can do, and then the multiplayer, like the zombies versus the people. I thought that was really cool. So I'm really excited to play it.
Okay.
Now, hang on.
Okay.
Just a question. Do you switch actively between the campaigns, or do you choose one, beat that, and then go to the next?
I actually think it's in, I think like you do, a third of it, the story moves to a different perspective. You do another of it, it moves to a different perspective. It's kind of all in order, I think. I think that's what I read. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's like basically you would start out as Leon, then you'd move to the new guy, to the mercenary or whatever, and then you do Chris's out of the story, and maybe they all met up. I'm not exactly sure, but I believe it's all in order. I don't think it's like Resident Evil 2, how you could beat Leon and then you'd beat Claire's. I don't think it's like that. I think it's all basically orchestrated by Capcom when you do it, how you do it. I would not be surprised. It's pretty much, I imagine, going to be tightly contested. Pretty much, I wouldn't say nearly on rails, but kind of be something like that. Matt, why don't you go ahead and give us your opinion on Resident Evil 6?
Resident Evil 6, I think, well, no surprise, they're starting to overdo the franchise. They're overworking it. Well, they've been beating this franchise for a while, but now they're really starting to beat the action part of the franchise. They need to
go back to survival horror.
I would love to see a remake of the first Resident Evil, another remake. The GameCube one was so well done. To me, that one's the highlight of the Resident Evil franchise. I know a lot of people love 4. That one got Game of the Year, and that's why I'm surprised that you guys think it's going to do so much. This 6 is going to do so much better than 4. 4 revolutionized.
Well, no. Okay, hold on. We don't think it's going to do better than 4. I don't think anybody's saying that. I think we need it to. We want it to. That is my expectations. I expect this game to be better than 4, or to be on par with 4 because of the shit they gave us with 5. I think that's what I'm leaning towards.
That's a fair assumption, but not realistic.
No, it might not be realistic, but it's definitely what we should expect as gamers.
It's what you want, but I think expect and want are getting confused here. You want a better game, but what to expect from what I'm seeing, I'm not expecting a whole lot from this game. I know some people are getting hyped for it, but I'm seeing something slightly less horror based than 4 was. 4 was like an action horror. This is trying to be horror with less action, which could make it kind of dull. So, they said they're trying to mix survival horror with the action from 5 or 4, and then like a third one, I guess it's gonna be like a mix between those. I think it's got a little bit of confusion here in what kind of game it wants to be, so it's trying to do all of the above. And when you try to do that, you're just bound for failure. You're not going to please the gamers in every aspect. This is going to be too different than this style of gameplay. Could you imagine going from the first Resident Evil style to Resident Evil 5 to Resident Evil 4?
That is true.
It won't work. I'm sorry. So, you're all going to fail.
I mean, okay, here's what I'm thinking here. Like I kind of stated, the Resident Evil 6, I expect it to be absolutely as good as 4 because of what you gave me in Resident Evil 5. I am personally not picking up Resident Evil 6. I have no hype for this game in the slightest. I was not excited when they announced it. It was a poor announcement. I mean, everyone knew it was coming. The story, I'm just not hyped for at all. I am, like I said, I'm excited that they're bringing back, Leonis Kennedy and Chris Redfield, but I mean, like Matthew said, probably beating the franchise a little bit. Now, I would say the only reason, I don't mind if there are 6 iterations of Resident Evil, or 8, however many there actually are. I really don't mind that. That doesn't bother me. What beating the franchise for me is, for this particular franchise, is remake after remake. How many times? I mean, the first one was remade once. The second one was remade once. Well, technically twice, because it was on the, it was done twice, because it was on the 64. And the, GameCube. The third one was on the GameCube. Yeah, it was on the PlayStation. So it's just like, these games have been out and redone more than once. I mean, hell, they're probably on the Game Boy by now.
They've been on the Game Boy?
Yeah, I mean, so
it's just for the DS.
It's I don't know, that's to me what's beating the franchise, and that's really annoying. Oh, hey, I want to get hyped for a new Resident Evil game. Oh god, it's Resident Evil 4 Iteration 5.
You can do, that's the thing though, why I like the remake was that they didn't do a completely carbon copy and just give it an HD uplift.
For the record, you're absolutely right. Resident Evil 1 is damn near, Resident Evil 2 in my opinion is the best Resident Evil game of all time.
If they remade the second one with updated graphics and maybe give it the special touches that they gave the GameCube release, I think it would be a fantastic game that a lot of people could get back into. I mean, Nintendo remakes Mario every year, but they add a little bit of difference into it. Right. I mean, it's still a platformer, and you're still collecting 120 stars, sprites, whatever that is you collect in Galaxy. So, I mean, they can do it. They just need to show
take the time to do it, I think.
They need, maybe take the time and give that special horror element to it.
Maybe ask the fan what they want.
Well, I guess, the fans are getting what they want, but what I want, I guess, what I might not see. So,
I don't know. Okay, Kale, if you were to design Resident Evil 6, are you going to do the 3 different people story, or are you just going to stick to one like Resident Evil 4 did? It's
honestly, I would stick to what made 4 so great.
I agree.
why break? What isn't, or why fix what isn't broken? I mean,
because that's what they did with 5, and it was a complete flop.
Yeah, but the problem what they did with 5 is they did try to fix it. They put more action in there because they were like, everyone was like, oh wow, this controls so much better. So Capcom's like, oh, you can shoot more people now. How about we just do that all game instead? No, I mean, no, that's honestly, in my opinion, what
and then,
they kind of
in the meantime, rip off every Xbox title's
oh my
signature
God, Gears of
move.
War for the record.
Here's a question for you.
Okay.
Is Resident Evil getting COD syndrome?
Well, I was gonna say that, and to me, I think it's starting to develop it. It's just like Borderlands did. It's almost, it's trying to change it, and what could have set it apart is making it completely survival horror based, not leave traces of 4 and 5 in it. If this was, you can't really do a slow zombie game like you did in I think a lot of people bash the controls from the classic Resident Evil, but really that's what added to the horror of it.
Yeah, because you couldn't fucking run.
You couldn't run away.
You couldn't even shoot them half the time.
Exactly, and that's what made it so terrifying, is that, you even though you're a good player, your character, you can't control it. I mean, it's a bad way to induce terror, but if you're good enough at the controls, I guess eventually get used to it. But you're still not invincible, because you could panic and then forget how to control your character. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm running through an empty mansion in that game, I can control it just fine. I know where to go, and maybe I run to the door and don't hit X immediately or whatever they did. But when there's a zombie or 4 of them in the room, suddenly my hands don't work the way they could have just on the other side of that doorway.
Well, that's because, honestly, in that game, one zombie could do so much damage. That was one of the cooler parts. But the thing is about the controls, and who in here has played Fear?
Me.
There you go. Perfect. That's perfect terror.
It is. I think
and
Fear is
good controls.
Fear,
Fear 1 and 2 were good, but that's a different story.
I've never played
Fear 3 is
Come on, back off Fear 3.
Fear 3 was bad. It wasn't just it was bad.
We'll get into that some other time.
Anyway.
I'm going to argue about that some other time.
So, I've never played Fear, but was that a faster paced game than...
It was a shooter. I mean, it was a shooter down before.
I mean, that's I think what maybe Resident Evil 6 is trying to be, except for that instead of, fucking with your screen, it's fucking with the lighting.
Right, and that's fine. And hopefully it turns out that way, but I'm going to disagree with the whole getting COD syndrome thing. Resident Evil 5 is 3 years old. We're not getting one every night.
Well, you're getting delayed COD syndrome. I mean, we can call it Resident Evil syndrome, where you just keep, or Mario syndrome, where you just release everything every year and you don't, or Nintendo syndrome, because, how many original titles have they had lately other than Pikmin?
1.
Luigi's Mansion?
I don't know. I don't
I mean, those are good games, but and Nintendo for some reason could still sell Mario. Maybe they're just capitalizing on, the legend on kids.
Probably.
But Resident Evil, you can't. I'm surprised they're still being able to do this. I mean, 4 maybe. If 4 had failed, I kind of wonder where this franchise would be.
It would be non-existent. Let's be completely honest here. They would reboot it.
They'd have to. I mean, I don't see.
I honestly don't.
If 4 had flopped, where would Resident Evil franchise be? There's
reboot.
just
reboot. I mean, right?
Even then,
Phil, I'm sure you agree with that, right?
Reboot
it. Maybe
not even there. It's you gotta wonder.
No, with a franchise that has gone that long up until 4, they would just reboot it. They would not let it die. They needed to let Mega Man die, but
they would do something with it. I don't know if they would necessarily reboot it. I mean, I don't know, but I know that they would not just let it go.
Yeah. They'd have to try again, at least another revolutionary idea. Yeah. But if they had released 4 and then 5 was like the exact same, as it was, kind of mediocre,
right.
Would 6 be coming out right now?
God, no. I agree with you. So basically, let's bottom line this. Kale, are you buying Resident Evil 6?
Yeah.
I think you're the only. Here, let me go back around. Michael, you're not buying it, obviously.
Probably not. I might rent it just to check out how it is, or look up some gameplay videos or something.
Right. Matthew?
I doubt it's a first day buy, and depending on how the reviews go, and if other people get it, I believe it's multiplayer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, if I had a couple other people play it, maybe, but I'd have to be pressured into it.
Kale, since you are the only one in here buying it, honestly, for someone who really didn't care for Resident Evil 5, why is it a buy for you? And then we're going to move on.
Well, it's not going to be a day one buy. I'm not going to go to a midnight release for it. I'm not going to pre-order it. But I'm going to pick it up. I'll probably pick it up, like a week or two later when I get around to it. But because, like I said, I mean, out of all the Resident Evil games, only a couple of them I don't like. I mean, so why? I mean, I don't understand, why I would base this game just off the one previous game in the series when the other 4 were amazing.
Okay, yeah. For the record, the thing that made Resident Evil 5 actually fun for me, Matt and I ran through that on co-op, and that was actually fun. Albeit
I did that.
It was actually a lot of fun. So maybe that's a kind of reason to buy it. Definitely, the co-op was a lot of fun. A lot.
It was. I mean, I'll give it that. I mean, but when I played by myself, I didn't like it. But I love co-op. I don't care what the game is. I mean, I just love playing, with my friends and stuff like that. But I mean, I'm not going to let, one bad single-player experience ruin the entire series for me.
Right.
Because I don't even consider Raccoon City to be as part of anything. That's just...
It's like Other M.
It has nothing to do with anything at all.
All right.
But...
Yeah. What were you going to say, Matt? Were you trying to butt in there? I'm sorry.
It wasn't me. I think it was Michael.
Oh, I didn't know if anybody was going to say anything. Okay.
I mean... Yeah, what you said. I mean, Resident Evil 5. I played it again on the professional lifter single player, and that was a pain in the butt. I can understand why people were frustrated, but it had online, and it's not the same as playing with a friend. So 5 was different, and that's why I don't really care for the multiplayer in 6. You can't do survival horror with another person because you can just laugh about all the shit the game tries to throw at you.
Okay, quick question, very quick question. When it comes to Resident Evil 5, if you guys were to give it a score out of 10, what would it be? Kale.
Probably 6.5.
All right. Michael?
6. I'm not going to go decimals.
Okay,
Matthew?
well
I'll go 7.
Go 7? I was going to give it a 7, 7.5. Me, not, obviously not the best game I've ever played, certainly not the worst, somewhere in the middle of the pack. From the looks at Resident Evil 6, unless the story is absolutely amazing, probably going to get around the same scores, I imagine, just from the looks of it.
Yeah, from what I'm giving a 7.5, just on what I've seen of it.
What we see, and it's like you can already just look at the game and take a wild guess at it, but that's a story for another time.
Which is why I'm surprised for 4, you guys, because that was 9.5 and 10. I'm kind of confused, but...
Well, the point, like I said, the point is expectations and wants might have been, yeah, you're right, might have been getting confused, but I absolutely expect this game to be better than the last. Why shouldn't this game? I'm tired of the excuse. Oh, it's a sequel. You know what? I don't want to hear it.
I've never heard that used as an excuse though. Like it's a sequel. It's not supposed to be as good.
I mean, I've heard you just expect it to not be as good because it's a sequel.
No. Well,
I mean, you hear that all the time in sports and in games. It's often slumped.
That's shallow-minded, and stats can back that up for sports.
Right. I get that, but it's like I've heard it before, so it wouldn't be surprising.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and jump onto another subject here. Last time, I believe we had an amazing discussion on the Wii U. It was actually a lot of fun to talk about. We're not gonna focus on just one console. We're not even gonna focus on any consoles really. I'm sure we'll spit a few names out here and there, but basically, we're going to talk about our own personal expectations for next generation gaming, what we really want and must-haves, and maybe something that we're just no, don't do. So I'm gonna let Michael kick this one off. Michael, your personal expectations for next gen gaming. If you were going to buy a console, what do you want on it? And I mean, what's going to draw you to it, and what must it have? Include anything, price point, games, software. I mean, obviously software games, but anything like that. What do you think?
I don't want it to be too much over 300. I'd like it to have a decent library of games when it comes out, a decent variety of games. Okay. I'd like it to be at least somewhat fancy with the graphics, HD.
HD, yeah. I mean, are we all in agreement here on HD being a must at this point?
I don't think that's even a question.
I think it can be an option. But I mean, yeah, I mean, I just recently got HD feed, so. Excuse me.
Right. Okay. That's a good point.
I mean, I recently got one. You can't just take away that option. Most people now, required. But I mean, there's still people out there with that were rocking the farmers channels not too long ago when the government switched that cable box or whatever to free up airspace. You can't take it away just yet.
Okay. Anything else there, Michael?
No.
Kale, next generation expectations. What do you want? What are your must-haves? Let's hear it.
Well, Xbox has got to have a Blu-ray player. Got to.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
New IPs. Please, for the love of Christ, new IPs. I'm so tired of sequel after sequel after sequel. It's got to have new games, new IPs. I mean, I can't stress that enough. That's I'm just going to keep repeating that because.
Oh, right. I understand.
I'm getting so frustrated with games. I mean, this year the only 3 games I even have on my list to buy are Halo, Borderlands, and Resident Evil.
All sequels.
And exactly, and those are all sequels anyway.
Yeah. I'm
getting tired of it.
How much are you willing to spend?
No more than 300. I would do 350 at the very max, but it can't be more than that.
Right. Okay. All right. Matthew, what do you think?
No gimmicks. No more of this 3D bullshit. No more of this motion control bullshit. Just it's run its course. It's like I wish this fad would die already. The Wii and PS3 just it's a pain to. Developers are wasting their time, in my opinion. You could be focusing on better stories and stuff instead of learning how to fuck with goddamn 3D crap. All right, now that's out of my system.
Wait, well, you say the Wii and the PS3, but what about Kinect?
Kinect? Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Because that's
okay. Well, so I just wanted to make sure that you.
That's a child's toy. So I mean, actually, I can't say that. It's a lot. I've seen a lot of cool stuff people have done by hacking the Kinect, and I've seen what you call it, those Star Wars holoports or whatever they are, the images, like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Well, people have been doing that with Kinect software hardware, so it's pretty cool. You guys should look into it, listeners and fellow topic or panelists. That's what your word is. So anyway, original games would be nice. It doesn't even have to be an original game. You can give me a Halo sequel, but as long as it's different, like a lot different, not just Master Chief wakes up and is going to start shooting the Covenant again. I'll be pretty
like Halo Wars.
With it.
Oh, hey, first
what?
of all.
No,
okay,
Halo Wars.
Yeah, Halo Wars was good. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Halo Wars 2, that'd be a good 720 or whatever. Dango
Next
or
time.
Dingo.
Just say next gen. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, next gen. So, I mean, that'd be a good launch title if they could do that. I doubt they will.
No, you might have mentioned this, but I might have missed it. Price point. What are you thinking?
No, I didn't mess price point. Depending on how different it is, I want better graphics and stuff too. Really, if they just gave me an Xbox with, more storage space, less crap, and, good games and better graphics, and really, I mean, just a next-gen 360 minus Kinect, I'd be willing to, depending on how good, how much better it is, 400.
Okay, wow. All right, basically, I'll jump in here. My wants for next gen gaming in general. I want, I pretty much want a lot of what you guys want. A good set of launch titles. New IPs would be nice. I'm really not too whiny about IPs. I don't mind. I don't mind exploring alternatives in an IP like Mass Effect. Would be great to kind of expand on. I mean, you have the main trilogy, but there's a lot of things going on behind the scene in that game that you can do. It's so massive. I mean, the Halo universe is also one. I wouldn't mind seeing further explorations of those. Now, something like next gen Skyrim would be kind of neat. You would assume that everything would be bigger, prettier. That would be cool in terms of game, but again, I'm not really too worried about new IPs, although they would be nice, and, a few have been mentioned here and there. I'm sure we'll get them, whether we like them or not, that's going to be a different story.
What I wouldn't mind seeing is maybe like a maybe not first person Grand Theft Auto, but you don't see maybe a lot of
No, I've got it. I don't mean to interrupt you, but you'll agree with me. You'll agree with me.
Not Fallout.
No, a remake of True Crime in the streets
Oh
of LA.
my God, yes.
Yes.
And that is no joking. Joking aside, True Crime in the streets of LA. Please don't do the crime if you can't do the time.
Just make the ending easier, please. For
No, definitely. No, go ahead with what you're saying if you remember. Sorry.
I mean, no, I don't remember now because that's just You pack and heat, you're holding dope.
No, okay. So, like, I don't mind further expectations, further explorations, I'm sorry, of current franchises. That's fine with me. New IPs will come. I mean, it will happen. I'm sure we'll get new IPs, and we're also going to get sequels upon sequels. It's just the way it is. We'll see what's all going to be dead by the time. Go ahead. Sorry.
I just remember what I was talking about. You got, your past medieval fantasy with, Elder Scrolls, and then you got your future with Fallout. I just would like to see a RPG of that depth in a different setting. Something that hasn't been explored a lot.
Yeah, definitely something like that.
One that could really show off, the new hardware and stuff as well.
First of all, I'm going to demand a Final Fantasy VII remake, and then
yeah, you and everybody else.
Yeah, and then I'm also going to demand a
Half-Life 3.
A Chrono Trigger remake. I'm just talking about remakes. I just wanted those are the two, Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VII remakes. Would just be absolutely beautiful. If you haven't played Chrono Trigger or gone a delved or read anything about it, please by all means do so. The game is old, but it is astounding. Anyway, those are like in terms of software, like I said, not like I don't expect all those to be available at launch. I just need about 2 good launch titles. 2.
Well,
reason for that is, if all else fails, I will gladly play my 360. Gladly. Love the thing. Have several games for it. I'll gladly play it. I can wait for launch titles further titles, as long as the 2 launch titles you give me are good. A nice shooter, with expansive multiplayer, I think is great. A Skyrim-like RPG, something that long and epic, at the beginning of a launch cycle would be brilliant for me. But that's okay.
What about Crimson Skies 2 or Jade Empire 2?
Both of those would be epic, absolutely epic. But it's funny that we're bringing those up. These are sequels, but we were all talking about original IPs, and it's just like they'll come. I really do think they'll come eventually. So definitely, that's just the software. Now hardware, I do not like, for the majority of your Xbox Live Arcade games, to be able to play them in full, you have to be hooked up to the internet at all times. I don't like that. I bought the game
you don't.
For the majority. Yeah, for example, Doom. I can't play Doom unless it's hooked up to the internet.
Well, did you buy that game on a separate Xbox?
I don't remember, probably.
Because I can.
See, for some reason I can't. For Dust, I couldn't.
Yeah, you've had to. I remember having the same problem for a while, but if you re-download it.
For Dust, I bought it on this. The game just literally came out.
Maybe it's your profile.
Very well could be. It's been slotted around.
Because you guys know, since I just moved, I didn't have internet for like 2 months. I played all of my arcade games just fine. I have them.
And you still don't have a gold account.
No, I don't, but I can play online. Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. Short story.
No. You can play Gears multiplayer.
Yeah, I can play Gears.
Then why haven't we been playing?
I can get into parties.
That is true. I know. I actually do remember that. That much I know. Okay, and like for hardware, I don't like. Still, I don't like having because I've heard a rumor about the next Xbox, requiring online the entire time. Don't like that. I think it's dumb.
No, that's absolutely terrible.
I buy the game, I buy the console, I demand to be able to play it when I want, whenever I want. Storage, I've never really had a big issue with storage, although you need to get rid of the whole 4 gig shit. It's going to need to be one big system, that is it. I don't need 2 consoles, one cheap, and then I'm going to have to spend $100 later because it's pretty much unplayable without the... Microsoft is absolutely terrible. I'm tired of the peripherals. I'm tired of it. Or, is that the right word?
Accessories, maybe?
Accessories, yeah.
Peripherals.
Yes.
Peripherals, there you go.
I'm absolutely tired of them. It's stupid. It is a terrible money-making tactic, and we all need to just quit. That's dumb.
Yeah, I hate all the other different consoles. Like when the Slim came out, I actually bought the 4 gig and then went and bought a 250 gig hard drive because I hated the glossy. I hated the fact that I could only get the glossy look with the 250 gig. I wanted that matte finish.
Yeah, but honestly, I think a uniformity, maybe not a uniformity, but definitely a uniformity in terms of storage. I don't want cloud storage, for the record. I don't care about cloud storage. I will take care of my own saves.
I think it's a good option, though.
I like it. I do like it. Because it gives me I don't use it for everything, but for, Skyrim, And, games like with I have hundreds of hours into those, I like to know that those are backed up somewhere.
Yeah, but I mean, I have a jump drive like every other American.
Well, yeah, but this is free.
True, but if you've just possessed a jump drive at any point, I've never used a cloud save ever. I just don't see the point. Not when
I've only used it once. I just use it as a backup.
But
I
understand.
It's a third backup.
I understand why you guys had them, but for me personally, not a make or break by any means.
No, not for me. Either.
Okay.
No, it's not a make or break. No, for sure. I just like the option.
The online play for every, I don't care what console. This is just next gen in general. Needs to be like Xbox Live. I don't want Sony's
or better.
Shit. I want it to be as good as Xbox Live or better. I mean, Xbox Live is always improving. Like every November, we get a system update, or I mean, we get some sort of update. I mean, the party chat.
We finally get a web browser this year.
I mean, better late than never there, but
it's IE, but
oh man,
it's something.
It's not like it's Opera.
So the point, my point here is, it needs to have the same thing as Xbox Live, honestly.
And free would be nice.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I have to keep paying for Live, I'll do it.
Yeah, if I have to keep paying for Live, that is absolutely fine. I don't mind.
That would be. Can you imagine? I mean, goodbye Sony's online. If Xbox Live goes free, I mean, why bother having a point? Why bother having an online? I mean,
PS3 exclusives.
All 5 of them. It's just no way.
There's some people are so ingrained into fanboys and stuff. Right. So I mean, you could see a majority of Sony's fan, their market, I guess, switch to Xbox.
So, but that's personally what I think is goodbye. I mean, I would love it to be. It needs to be as good, if not better, than Xbox Live, and it does not matter what console. Wii U, the next PS3, I mean the PS4, or the 720, just needs better online play. What else? I think that's about it. The controller. Matt mentioned this before. Please, I'm not a big fan of the Kinect. I have one, just sits there. The concept behind it, the potential is vast, and once that is capitalized on, I think every person needs to Kinect. Every single person. I just think it would be so cool if it worked the way it was supposed to all the time. And has the 1-to-1 ratio movement, and you were able to move Netflix with your hand without having to stand up and look like a dipshit.
Well, they are doing that with the next Xbox. They're making it so that you can control Kinect by sitting down and all that jazz.
I
still don't want it.
A lot of talks about it. It's going to be built into the console.
Yeah.
So if it's built in, fine. But I'm not a big motion control person. Some of it's fun.
I have to interrupt because if it's built in, that means it's getting charged, and I'm getting charged to pay for something I don't want. So I don't want it built in. If it's
buy a PS4.
No, because I want Microsoft's X.
I'm just saying, I get where you're coming from, but this is just our wants and whatever. But going from here, 3D gaming. I don't have a 3D TV. I've only ever seen 2 3D movies in my entire life. Really don't care one way or another. If it's free and given to me, by all means, awesome. I've played NBA 2K. I mean, some 3D games are a lot of fun. They look really cool. I'll be completely honest. That's great. But it's not a make or break thing for me. It's not really conventional yet. When it gets conventional, by all means. But until then, I'm fine without it. Motion controls I just bitched about. Now, the controller. Microsoft needs to fix their controller.
Really?
MLG.
Why?
Oh, the D-pad is horrible.
Well, they fixed that. Get the new controller with the swivel D-pad. That's what I got.
Here's an idea. Why don't you just release a good D-pad to begin with, like Sony? Then the next big thing is MLG pros bitch about it all the time, and for the longest time I was like, what the hell are you talking about? But slow turn. It exists. I mean, I've gotten 2 or 3 controllers now where I go to turn on my right stick and it's slow. It's 70%. Yeah. That needs to go. That should not have even made it out of testing.
I think that's just I've only had that happen after I've had my controllers for so long and I've put so many hours into them, and at that point you have to consider just buying a new one like I've done. I mean, it sucks, but if you're really that dedicated, then you can't expect the hardware to keep up with you. And it's weird coming. Well, yeah, but no, the way mine are, the stick's pretty much gone. Maybe I could pop it open and fix it, but really it's just, to me, it's not worth it. Just get another one, and it sucks, but you'll be fine.
The price point, they need to fix their D-pad and they need to get the slow turn gone, but the price point on the controllers also needs to go down. Do not make me pay $50 for new controllers.
I think 40. 40
They've
for
got to
wire,
get
30.
They've
40
got to
for
get rid of that
wireless,
stupid
30
screen.
for wire.
The screen?
Yes, I know we talked about this with the Wii U,
Oh, yeah.
But like, the screen, it could be a cool concept, but I wouldn't.
I thought you were excited about the screen.
I think all right. I'm not excited about the screen itself because
I thought you liked it.
it's all right because it's fine because the Wii U is not going to be my main console. The 360 I'm hearing is going to have a touchscreen in the middle of the controller, but the Wii U I'm not as concerned about because of the controller, the Pro controller that they're going to come out with. That I can use that on for anything. Because if I want to use the
For your
screen, I
Pro
can.
Wii gaming?
Yes, exactly. But I mean, that's not going to be my console choice. I mean, I'm going to get a Wii U, but I'm going to have like 5 games from it. I'm going to play it, and they're probably only going to be Mario games. The Xbox, though, I mean, I use every day. I don't want a touch screen. I don't want like Chris was saying. I don't want the gimmicks. I don't want to have to mess with other shit.
Well, the big important thing here to note is I think you can keep the screen and you can do it in a very smart way. I'm gonna name two big things. Michael probably knows where I'm going with one of them. I'll say that one first. Dreamcast, the VMUs. They had a screen on them. It practically became a mini Game Boy. That was really neat. Pretty cool.
I thought the Dreamcast
they doubled
controller
as a
was
memory
used,
card
though.
too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was a memory card as well.
It sounds like you're holding like a tablet almost.
What?
I don't know. I never had a Dreamcast.
Oh,
so I mean,
they're pretty small. I mean, hell,
Are
they're
They're tiny.
I mean,
They're
they're
about the size of a PS2 memory card.
yeah, they're not big at all.
I don't know. What would you say is bigger than like an N64 controller?
No, the VMU, the little virtual memory card.
I'm talking about the controller, like the Dreamcast controller.
Oh, the Dreamcast controller was about the size of the PS. I mean, no, it was because it's funny about the Dreamcast controller because it's basically designed. Your PlayStations are action controllers. Your Dreamcast controller was, I think, in my opinion, designed as more of a racing controller.
Well,
That's where you're going.
are we going to see like controllers? For
It's
different
smaller
games,
than the 64. But no, we're gonna have one standard controller from here on in. The whole little peripheral race wheel needs to go as well. Who the fuck cares?
I think it's a good option. You should base it on that. But really, I mean, you can. I think Anthony, my brother, told me that you can play Team Fortress 2 with the driving thing.
Oh
and
yeah,
like,
I mean, yeah, you could. I mean, because they all have regular buttons.
I think it's an okay option.
But
Some
okay,
people swear by it. That's fine. Forza Pros.
If the Kinect is as good as it's supposed to be, then it can do that without. I mean, I don't know. That Forza demo we saw a long time ago of people driving with the Kinect was absolutely awesome. That would be cool if it worked the way it was supposed to. But the controller price point needs to come down to about $30 in my opinion. The tablet. Another thing I think that would be really cool that you could keep the screen. You could just do what they do on keyboards. Get a little. I mean, it can be like a small memory card, and basically it just shows stats. Like, wouldn't it be cool to not hit back for my KD? I mean, in the middle of a game, I have 18 kills. Nope, I just look at my controller. I mean, that'd be kind of neat. It shows all my stats right there. That would be. I mean, you figure Warcraft does DPS and stuff like that on keyboards all the time. So
then you'd have to take your eyes off the screen. I don't like that. I'd rather
in the middle in the lobby though.
No,
in the lobby.
Yeah.
Well, I mean during gameplay, I'd rather just hit the back button.
Well, yeah, but you're not gonna look at it during gameplay, really. I mean, you can.
You
shouldn't. We'll leave that.
I do it all the time, but anyway, like if you want to keep the tablet, I think that's a better way to go. Minimize it, like if you want to keep the screen, minimize it and have it maybe as a memory card, and that displays KD, DPS, whatever your game is for. The next level, your next quest point. I don't care if it's a compass. It'd be kind of neat. Let's go ahead and wrap this up with. Is everybody here going to get a next-gen console? And before I say anything more, the price point for me, no more than $300. I'm sticking right there. Think it's fine. All the extra shit must go, but I think about $300 is a good cost. If not, I'll gladly wait for it to come down.
I just don't see you getting all that stuff with the screen and whatnot for.
Oh yeah, for less. Yeah, no, you're definitely right. But so Kale, buying a next-gen console, yes or no? Just
of course.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
at launch or not?
One. Yeah. Well, depending on which console.
I'm just saying, just in general, a next-gen console at launch doesn't matter.
Yes, I will be getting a next-gen console on launch night. I don't see. I mean, my perfect price point for me would be $350. I mean, it can't be $400. There's no way.
Oh, but my perfect price point is $0.
Okay, yeah, my perfect price point would be 0, yeah, but but I mean, because if it gets any more than that, we're just gonna have the PlayStation 3 launch all over again. We're
Oh.
$600-700 consoles at launch with
599
160
US
gig
dollars.
memory. That was
Oh, yeah.
stupid. I couldn't believe the PS3 made it through that.
Michael, next gen, are you buying one at launch?
Probably not at launch, but I will get one eventually.
Okay.
Price is a big thing for me.
It's a huge price point. I mean, we've heard rumors about the next gen Xbox being only $99. Wouldn't that be amazing?
That would be awesome.
That's just, who knows, Matthew.
One other thing I wanted to bring out was backwards compatibility. If I can go play my Xbox games with the next gen consoles, I'm gonna buy one a lot later than I would if it required, 720s only play with 720s. So yes, but probably not at launch. Definitely not at launch, especially if it's backwards compatible.
Yeah. Oh, that's the thing. I completely forgot about backwards compatibility. Either have it or don't. Not like the Xbox where only
choose.
some of the games. Yeah, like I went to like a local game shop a couple weeks ago. Curtis has sent you a picture of because I bought Crimson Skies and Unreal Championship, Mech Assault. Only one of those games worked. And
Unreal Championship?
No, it was Crimson Skies. It was the
Yeah,
only one. That
Crimson Skies, because I was playing that on my 360 the other day.
If you're not going to have backwards compatibility, put those games up online so that I can download them. I know Microsoft was doing that for a little bit, where they put up like Xbox One games, but I think they stopped doing that, and they pick and choose which ones they wanted to do. Have your full catalog up if you're going to do it.
Okay. All right, we're gonna go ahead. For me, backwards compatibility isn't a big deal. I own a 360, so I'll just play it on that. Although it's more convenient to just play them on your next gen console.
With backwards compatibility, you can play on your 360.
Right. Let's go ahead and we're gonna round this out with a fan favorite. Started out as just a beta game, alpha game. Slowly developed a big following, and I am talking about Minecraft. To be honest, it's you either love it or you hate it, and you won't find a lot of people who hate it. Basically, I'm just going to ask these guys a few questions. I'm going to ask, how they got into it, maybe why they got into it, why do you keep playing it? A few little side points, and we'll go ahead and wrap it all up here. Matt, what do you think about Minecraft?
Fantastic game, especially considering I didn't pay a cent for it. I think the biggest turn on for Minecraft was that it was only $5 through most of its snowballing popularity game there.
Yep.
If I had to buy it now, I don't know if I would. It's a fantastic game and it's fun to play. And really, you need to have friends to play it with. If you play by yourself, it's okay. Like, I've been playing by myself for a while. It's kind of sad, but it's great that you can now, well, I don't know if you've always been able to do this. You probably have been, but I can take my single player world and make it into a multiplayer world.
You haven't been able to do that.
You haven't?
That's a recent
I mean,
feature.
all I've done before is take the DAT file and copy it into the server. So, I mean, yeah, it's nice that I can do that. It's nice to know that now my hard work's going to never be seen by anybody unless they're sitting over my shoulder. To me, it's not worth the $50 price tag it is now.
Oh wow, it's 50 now?
Yeah,
No,
I mean, is it
wow.
50 or 40 or
It's
is it 20?
$20.
Is it still 20? Because I had to
Yeah.
pay 25 for it.
It's
Well, I didn't pay for it.
Yeah, I
It's
paid $20
$20 now. I just
Well,
checked.
there you go. Well, wasn't it? I thought it was 50 at launch or something like
I
launch.
I remember it being 25. I never remember it going.
I bought it
near
while it was in
as
beta for the PC for 25.
Yeah, that's.
I bought it for 21, but I saw it $19.99 earlier. It was the same price as it was on the 360.
I guess.
No,
we'll have
I
to look
lied.
into
It's
that,
$26.95 according to
Okay.
Minecraft.net.
Okay.
$26.95.
Yeah, I mean maybe then, but only if you know a lot of people that are playing it. So,
Right.
I don't know. I thought I read somewhere with 50, like
No.
most other games. But the
I mean, it's not worth $50. Let's be honest. It needs to get prettier.
Oh no.
well, I mean, not pretty. I think it's part of like the art style with the game, but I mean,
It needs to do something.
you need a lot more you can do with building and whatnot. So, I mean, the multiplayer is fantastic. It's easy to set up, easy to customize.
And for the record, community. Astounding.
Oh yes.
Let's go ahead and.
Apparently,
It is.
I mean, a lot of they're pretty helpful to get stuff set up, but the community itself, they can be pretty griefy sometimes. So you just go next person.
All right, Michael, Minecraft.
Yes. What about it?
All right, basically, what kind of drew you in? Why do you like Minecraft? And why? I mean, Is it worth the purchase? What do you think? Go ahead.
I just kind of heard about it through a friend and looked up some gameplay videos on it. Thought it'd be kind of interesting. Started it up. Loved it.
Why?
I don't know. I love the exploration, the creation.
The open-endedness is the big draw.
Yeah, I mean, they have a single-player adventure sort of thing going on now, but back in the beginning, it was all
back in the beginning.
You go explore, you go find stuff.
Well,
have fun.
even it's a multiplayer thing now, and it's completely optional to go do that mission. You can still just do creative mode, or do creative mode in survival. So I mean, that's what I'm doing. I'm not really trying to push to go to the story, the end of that. And then, it's completely non-impact. You can do it's truly a sandbox game.
Very much.
At its core.
Very much. Kale, same questions.
I used to hate Minecraft. Well, okay, I guess I shouldn't say hate. I mean, okay, it's kind of a strong word, but I didn't see the point in it back. Like when it first came out, because I have a ton of friends that have been playing it since the very beginning, always trying to get me into it, and I would watch them play it and be like, oh, what is the point? They're like, oh, we could build things. Okay, what's the point? I just didn't see the point of it. But when it finally came out on 360, I downloaded the demo. I was finally able to try it out, because there was no demo on the PC. So I tried it out. I played it for 15, 20 minutes, and I bought it, just like that.
They had a demo on the PC. You could play it in your browser.
Well, I think it's the classic mode, isn't it?
Yeah, it's only
just
classic only.
Well, classics, I mean, that's not, you're robbing yourself of the experience if you just base off a classic.
But, I mean, I just played the demo, because the demo had a time limit on it, maybe like 15, 20 minutes. And as soon as the time limit was up, I went right over and bought it. I love it. And I love a game with story, and this one doesn't have any. But, and I see what my buddy was trying to say now. It's cool, because you can build anything you want. And I didn't see the awesomeness in that until I actually did it myself. And it's a lot of fun just going out and even if you because I just play regular mode, because I like that, being able to go out and get all the supplies and everything you need, and then using that to build something awesome, because then I can look at it and know all the hard work that I put into it. And it's a lot of fun, especially when, you get a bunch of people and you get like 4 or 5 people.
Definitely.
You're building something huge and awesome. Like me and my buddy right now, we just now discovered, we didn't discover, but we started figuring out how to use like a powered mine carts and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. No,
so now
cool.
we're connecting like our entire world together, like in just one big like a mine cart, going up through mountains, underneath the ocean, in like a big black or glass tubes, and it's a lot of fun, And I have friends who don't like it. And their main argument is, well, if I wanted to play a game that looked like that, then I'll just play an NES game or something like that. Well,
there's no game like this out there.
Yeah, well, I don't understand how people can judge a game based on the graphics. Graphics mean absolute shit to me. Gameplay over graphics any day. I don't care. I mean, you see what I mean, though?
No. I absolutely agree. A lot of people are. Like Michael said, it's a big draw. But the argument there is, you have the texture packs now, so.
Mm-hmm.
For a while.
Well, you can't do that on the 360, but
no, 360 is very limited.
Yeah, that's the main reason I haven't gotten that yet. I've already have the PC version, and the Xbox is so limited. I hear it's like such a smaller space.
It's 1,000 by 1,000.
Yeah,
they're only on beta 1.7.3 as well.
Yeah, they're also behind.
So they don't have the hunger system. They don't have.
No, we're at 1.8. We're at 1.8 now.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I knew they didn't update recently. So I mean, there's still some stuff missing.
It will be on par with the PC version eventually.
Yeah, and that's by all means. It'll be awesome when they do. But honestly, I mean, have you, Kale? I mean, you're the only one here that has the 360 version and has put a good amount of time in it. Have you ran into Bedrock a lot? I mean, have you run into spots where the world doesn't generate? I mean, you're going to at some point, I imagine. But I
run into Bedrock all the time.
Right.
Well, you kind of have to.
Yeah, true. Maybe that was a bad term, but I mean, are you going to run into that 1,000 by 1,000th block to where you can't move anymore? I mean, have you run?
I've only run into the edge of the world one time, when that was actually just the other day when I was going after the achievement for the going in one direction in a minecart.
Right.
But that's because I started it in like the middle of the world and I took it all the way to the end. But that is the one and only time I have ever gotten to the edge of the world. Like I've had no problems with limited space or anything like that. I mean, there's still parts of my map I haven't explored.
Yeah, so I think the most important part of this is you really can't enjoy it unless you let yourself. If you're going to nitpick and look for things to not like, I understand, but I mean, you're going to find something. But for me, that's an entirely different concept. To get into my point here is I was not a fan of Minecraft in the slightest. I had a friend who I worked with who was absolutely, completely just head over heels for Minecraft. They might have gotten married given the opportunity. And if you're listening, John Little, yes, I'm talking about you. Basically, he finally convinced me to, give it a shot. And once you're playing with people, like I started playing with, I believe we started playing together, and it was literally like, as soon as I get out of work, run home, start up start up Minecraft, and like, I had a kid, so it was a lot of fun. No, it was just like it was so engrossing, and you could just waste hours. Like once you play it, it is really hard to be like, I hate this game. It's just you gotta get that person to actually play it. The price point is also a good draw. Now the 360 version, I think the whole 4-player split screen is great, great implementation. Although you have to have an HD TV to do that, for the record. So
yeah, you do.
To Matt's point earlier about taking HD away, so that's kind of interesting. Basically. I like the 360 version. I think the Pocket version is great. I'm not sure if that has the whole survival system yet. If it doesn't, it's completely it's the biggest waste of time you'll ever do, because none of your worlds save. They do, but not if you just buy the light version, or you get the free version or whatever. Nothing saves, so it's just basically a demo, which is fine. But
see, I don't like the Pocket version at all.
I think it's fun. I think it's neat. I think it's fun on the fly. I mean, I'm going to be on the go quite a bit now because starting up classes and whatever, and to, kill a few minutes. It'd be cool to just randomly wander through something. I mean, that's what the smartphone is for, right? To occupy yourself when all else fails. So I'm a real big fan of it's Minecraft, like Matthew said, is the sandbox game in its purest form, and every sandbox game needs to be in a way like Minecraft with the open-endedness. I mean, maybe some story I'm sure we'll get to an interesting story, but that's not the draw of Minecraft. The draw of Minecraft is do what you want, when you want it, how you want it. Now playing with friends is basically like the ultimate. Building cities, I mean, who here has been on YouTube and just seen videos upon videos of giant, the Helm's
Castles.
Deep, the Starship Enterprise.
I mean, or our Minecraft on Reddit, like that stuff is crazy that people put in there.
Exactly. So it's just like it's so vast. It's hard to not like Minecraft. The only reason you don't like Minecraft is if you haven't played it yet. Just my opinion. Really,
my fiance hates video games, but she sits down and watches with me, and sometimes even plays Minecraft with me.
No, it's amazing the allure to it, and the whole texture packs, and being able to redo all that stuff. Like that'd be great. For the record, retarded that they charge for that on the 360. No, dumb. Do not buy, anybody. Please do not support that. Please, and I'm mainly pointing at you, Kale. Do not.
What?
Do not buy their texture packs for characters. Don't.
Uh-oh.
No, it's so dumb because it's not right.
I did.
I know, I figured,
actually.
But it's
I'm rolling around as Banjo.
It's so not. It's absolutely free on the on the PC. It's so dumb of Microsoft. I hate it.
But here's the thing: if I don't play it on PC, that sucks. That PC players get it for free, but I don't have the PC version.
True.
It's 160 points. I mean, what is that? $2, $3? I don't care.
Yeah,
Whatever.
I mean that's a good point. It's cheap, but like I said,
for to play as Banjo from Banjo-Kazooie or the Master Chief, yeah, I'll do that. That's cool.
I guess that's a personal thing. I would not. It bothers me. But that's just honestly.
But it's like Matt said. I mean, a couple of podcasts ago. I mean, it's not their fault. We have to pay for it. We're not paying for the skin packs. We're paying for the licensing.
True. Very true.
Did I say that?
Yeah, you did.
So it's. I don't know. That's just what I'm thinking. Minecraft is one of the greatest games of all time. I'm going to go ahead and spit that out there. Probably one of the greatest of all time.
One of the most creative, too.
Oh,
you
very
seen
much
stuff
so.
You can do with redstone?
You can do pistons, and it's just nuts. It is completely nuts. So basically, what I'm gonna my question for you guys to wrap this up. Is Minecraft in the top 10 games of all time? Kale, yes or no?
Of all time.
Of all time.
Man, it's like a part of me wants to say yes, but my inner hardcore gamer is screaming no.
Okay.
But I don't know.
You don't know? That's fine. I guess if you can't, I'm not gonna make you
Top
choose.
15? Top 15? Yes, for sure. As far as the top 10 though, I don't know if maybe. If it is in the top 10, then it is 10.
Okay. Michael, let's go with you. In your top 10, yes or no?
Probably in my top 10.
Okay. All right, that's interesting. Matthew.
Absolutely not.
Oh my God.
No, there's no way it's top 10. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a fantastic, wonderful game, but no, I'm sorry. Top 20, absolutely. Top 10, no.
It really depends on play style. I mean,
No, not even that. It's just, no. Top 10, no. There are so many, just, no, not even, maybe this gen, well, that's why
We'll
I
get
suggest
into that
doing
for
this.
another.
But,
yeah,
I mean,
this gen I would consider in the top 10
this gen
for sure.
probably
This gen,
top
you could put it
10.
in the top 5.
I consider that even. But of all time, no. Sorry.
Okay. In my opinion, of all time, top 10, abso-fucking-lutely. Absolutely. When you honestly sit down and do your top 10s for next week, which will be a topic we're going to delve into for next week, when you sit down and do your top 10s and you think about it, and when you see multiple entries of the same franchise on there, just think about that for a minute. Minecraft is completely original. Obviously, it's
Not
in my
not
opinion.
its fault and when it came out. Not the other
No.
game's fault and when they came out.
True, but I mean, we'll delve into it more. But in my opinion, it is in my top 10 games. It's
top 10 franchises?
Oh, well, I mean, it's not. I don't know if I'd call it a
No.
franchise.
Not really a franchise, but top 10 IPs.
Top 10 IPs, absolutely. Why not?
Uh,
We'll delve into this and we'll bitch about it more, and we'll talk about it later. But
I think there's a lot of games being forgotten.
Yeah, there might be, and we'll see. Maybe I'll eat my words, after I make a list and talk about this. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap the Minecraft stuff up. Basically, there you have it from everybody. Minecraft, awesome. Go buy it. It's worth it on either the 360 or the PC, whatever you play.
Unless you don't have friends, then don't buy it.
Yeah, unless you don't have friends. But even then, you can buy it and just build yourself some friends, I guess.
Yeah.
They're not going to talk to you. So, but next week we're going to delve into, like we said, a little bit of a top 10 talk. Thank you all for listening. As usual, please like and subscribe. Also, on our Twitter, please give us a follow, and on our Facebook page, please give us a like at Satellite Gaming Incorporated.
And give us any feedback you guys
And
have.
any absolute feedback. And if you would like to be on the show, please leave a comment. By all means, we'd love to have you guys.
Message. Get at us.
All right. Well, thank you guys, and we will see you next week.